Info Ninja. Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. Hope you're doing fantastic. It's an honor to be deep inside your ears as usual. And just a reminder, we're a dojo, right? We're all here fighting the good fight. We're a bunch of ninjas. I'm the Info Ninja, and you're the ninjas here in the dojo. And it makes me feel great every time I see somebody leave a comment. I would say 95% of those comments are positive. It makes me feel great every time I see somebody hit the share button or hit the like button, because it makes me feel like I'm not alone. Like we're all really part of the same dojo fighting the good fight. And I say this because there's someone out there, a young person we can say, that's been trying to fight a fight. I wouldn't say it's fighting the good fight, but they've been fighting a fight since they were very, very young. I almost feel like they were exploited by their parents in a sense. I'm talking about the insufferable Greta Thunberg.
That's a huge bitch.
If you don't remember her, she's the "how dare you" girl. She was known for climate activism. And of course, all of her climate activism was based off of, I'm not even going to say shaky, I'm just going to say shitty science that has been completely debunked by this point. Anybody that really wants to know the truth about quote unquote climate change finds the truth. They realize very quickly that the climate has been changing since the earth was created, and that includes a time before man had automobiles and was producing things with fossil fuels. But Greta, she feels autistic to me. She feels like something's a little bit off with her. So here is her famous climate speech, just a little snippet from it to jog your memory.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Yes, very, very annoying. As she's getting older, she's Swedish, so maybe she's gonna get hot. She's getting to be a little bit cuter as she gets older, but just knowing who she is and what she's all about makes her much less attractive. I have known some beautiful, I'm talking smoking hot liberal women before, and as soon as I find out how deeply flawed their thinking is, they stop being as hot. Once I find out how big of a moron they are, they're just not as hot, and I believe that is what Greta Thunberg has gotten herself into. So even if she becomes a Swedish hottie when she gets a little bit older, she is legal, but when she gets a little bit older, even if she becomes a Swedish hottie, she's really not going to be that hot, because she's dumb.
I'm a Swedish plumber. I'm here to fix your pipes. That's good. That's a good accent. These will work, Dennis. These will work. Don't worry about it, and don't worry about anything.
So yes, Greta has moved on. I don't know if she's moved on from her climate change fight. Maybe she finally did get the real information and realized that she was full of shit and it was shitty science. But she has now moved on to fighting for Hamas. That's her new thing, is she loves hummus. She wants to fight for hummus, and she wants to see the Muslims conquer the world. Greta wouldn't last 5 minutes in Gaza. And this is a young, pretty Swedish girl in Gaza. How do you think she's going to do there, folks? She's not going to be wearing the hijab or the headdress. How do you think she's going to be treated in Gaza? How do you think she's going to be treated in, quote unquote, the pretend state of Palestine? Not very well. And that's why this frustrates me so much, because they stopped her. The Israeli Defense Force stopped her from entering Gaza. So here's the story if you haven't heard it yet. So Greta, using dark money, we don't know where it came from, who's funding it, got a kind of mini yacht and filled it full of some other Palestinian activists. I don't know what you call those folks. They're morons. Filled this yacht full of other morons, and they decided to sail towards Gaza. They decided to make a lot of selfie videos along the way and a lot of X and Facebook posts, and that kind of tipped off the Jews that she was on her way to Gaza.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
And showing their moral integrity, the Israeli Defense Force stopped her before she was able to enter the port there in Gaza. Remember, Israel is a country, and if you sneak into a country through a non-port of entry, you are invading that country. So I guess they could have arrested her, but they've been giving her sandwiches. There's pictures of her smiling with her sandwich. But it's very interesting that she was sailing there and bringing humanitarian aid. And it's like she's forgetting about the fact that Hamas steals the humanitarian aid from the Palestinian people and doesn't let them have it. Like her flawed climate science, her flawed thinking is showing in this situation as well. So I guess she was trying to bring attention to the matter like it needs more attention, but she was going to sail into Gaza and save the day. And rather than actually let her do that, rather than letting her actually eat her cake, Israel stopped her. I personally, if I was the president or the prime minister of Israel, I would have said, let her through. Let her through. Let's see how things go in Gaza for her. We may be able to eliminate a problem. Just let her go into Gaza and let Gaza take care of her. That's what I would have done. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want bad things to happen to Greta Thunberg. But if she's asking for it, let's give her what she's asking for. Now, the kind of weird, I don't say weird, it's actually makes complete sense, thing that happened was, and you can kind of hear this in some of their videos that they were posting, is as the Israeli Defense Force approached them, the Israeli Navy, I guess you would say in this situation, as they approached them on the sea, as they were getting close to the port of Gaza, I guess that's what it's called, you can hear them say, ditch the phones and ditch the computers. They tossed their laptops and their phones into the ocean before the Israelis could intercept them. Now, why would you do that? I'm thinking about me, the info ninja, and if I was sailing into Gaza, I wouldn't throw my cell phone into the sea because there's nothing on my cell phone that would be a problem for the Jews. There's nothing on my cell phone that has anything to do with espionage or acts of terrorism or anything planned that's negative. So I wouldn't throw it over the boat into the ocean so that the Jews couldn't get it. So the question is, why did they do that? Why did they take their electronics and toss them into the sea prior to them being intercepted? Well, I can give you a few guesses. It could be that whatever was on those phones would have got them put in prison. It could be whatever was on those phones, some of those contacts may be Muslim terrorists. And apparently now Greta is, by the Israeli people, is being thought of as a Muslim terrorist. Now, I don't know how much terror little old Greta can pull off, but she's definitely a Muslim terrorist sympathizer, and I think she would do anything to aid them. But again, based off of faulty information. Her worldview is based off of CNN and MSNBC and as liberal as you can get. She believes everything and she gets in a boat to go to Gaza. Same thing with climate change. It was based off of MSNBC and CNN and as liberal information as you can get, and she fought the climate battle. And maybe it's turned out that she's realized it was complete BS, bullshit science. And maybe eventually she'll realize that her trip to Gaza and what Hamas is doing, what hummus is doing, is complete bullshit, and they are terrible. Now, here's something kind of cool. So apparently this is the Israeli Defense Force, was being directed to feed, water, take care of all these people that were on Greta's little yacht. But when they intercepted them, they were to show them the October 7th video. This is a video kind of spliced together of home video, different cell phone footage, different security cameras that shows exactly what Hamas did on October 7th. When they raped women, they beheaded babies, they shot elderly people, all of this stuff that Greta, I'm sure, didn't know anything about, but maybe she's seen the tape now. Now, something tells me she probably will close her eyes and stick her fingers in her ears and not want to watch the truth. Most liberals don't want to know the truth, especially when it completely debunks their world view. And by the way, right before Greta was intercepted, she did post this little ditty.
My name is Greta Thunberg and I am from Sweden. If you see this video, we have been intercepted and kidnapped in international waters by the Israeli occupational forces or forces that support Israel. I urge all my friends, family and comrades to put pressure on the Swedish government to release me and the others as soon as possible.
Kidnapped! That's right. She's been kidnapped by the Israeli Defense Force. So I had to, just had to, go to X. You can find us there. We are at Info Ninja Show on X. But I just had to go look at this video that she posted on X, the one you just heard, and read some of the comments on X because they are always fantastic. So this first comment is wonderful. It says, first, you are not in international waters, Greta. Second, what kind of kidnapper leaves you unchained with a cell phone? The next comment is she doesn't look very kidnapped. It kind of goes on and on. Pictures of her getting the sandwich saying, oh, she looks happy now. It's just great. If you need a pick-me-up, go read the comment sections on X and you will see that most of the world doesn't agree with Greta. At least most of the world on X doesn't agree with Greta. So again, I wish that they would have just let her through. Let her search everybody, make sure they're not sneaking in missiles, make sure they're not sneaking any bad information in, and then just let them go on through. And let's see how little Swedish white Greta is going to do in Palestine. Let's see how little tiny Greta is going to do in the Muslim culture. Something tells me she's got a raping coming.
Of course!
Huh. Hi-yow! Info Ninja. If you liked what you heard, please give me a thumbs up, a comment, and a share. You can find us on X at Info Ninja Show, on Rumble, Truth Social, YouTube, and of course, anywhere podcasts are sold.